Hey, let's take a look at some more comics I got when I was on my little excursion. Let's see, we went to Player's Choice, and then afterwards we went over to a place called Super Deals. Now we have a Super Deals right there, like right up the road from me. They don't have comics, unfortunately. The Super Deals down in North Myrtle Beach, they have comic books. They had them really packed tightly, and every one of the boxes was turned around backwards this time. It was really weird. It's like they relocated them and forgot to turn around the other way because, man, who cares? That was my suspicion, at least. But, all right, so I did find a few good ones that I didn't have. Justice League Quarterly, Justice League International, technically, number 7. This is from summer of 1992. Of course, I'm going to pick up any Justice Leagues that I don't have. The quarterlies, I remember back in the day seeing them at Walmart in those little places where I guess now they got pictures hanging or something. But they used to have like a side, what do they call it? At the end caps have these side panels. They used to have them in there. I remember very clearly looking at these going, man, and I picked it up. I was like, $3.50. And I'd put them back because $3.50 was a lot of money back in the 90s for a comic book. So I did pass on them back then, but I'm glad I get them now for, this was actually, they got them there for $1.99. So it's one of the more expensive places to buy comic books, but I always like to look there when I go, right? Then we have Secret Origins of the Justice League International, part 2 of 3. All right, so we got Captain Atom, Rocket Red, and we got Gnort. Or do you say Gnort, or do you say Nort? Which one do y'all say? I remember, like, there's no good news is good news. Hold on, how did Gary Gnu used to say that? Because I think of him like Gary Gnu. He's like, no good news is good news with Gary Gnu, off of the Great Space Coaster when I was a kid. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if it's pronounced Nort, probably properly, but I always think of Gary Gnu when I go, good news. So again, these are all like $2. I mean, $1.99. Spider-Woman, I was like, oh, I wonder if I have this Spider-Woman. I looked on the app, I was like, I don't have any Spider-Woman. Oh, I'm thinking of Spider-Girl, you know. I don't have a clue if this is related, if this is Spider-Girl when she grew up, because Captain America's there, but of course, Captain America, I'm pretty sure he has some kind of like anti-aging ability, maybe. I don't know. I'm like, yeah, I'll pick it up. I mean, it's like, I never see Spider-Woman comics. I actually had this action figure because she was part of a Build-A-Figure wave back when I was collecting 6-inch junk. And I never knew who she was. It could be, with those glasses, she reminds me of Arachne or Raina or whatever she's called. The daughter of Spider-Man in another universe or something. But she's Hispanic? That's another comic book that I've been wanting to read. It's The Heart of the Spider or whatever. She could be her grown up. I don't know. It's gotten to be so many different spiders that I can't keep up anyway if I tried. It's a more modern comic, but it's not, well, I'm about to say it's not terribly modern, but it's $2.25, so it's not that modern. Probably like late 90s. This one didn't have a polyfoil, and I'm like going, okay, number 106. Now watch me have it, because the stupid numbering system for Justice League America, Justice League International, Justice League Europe, Justice League, during that time there were 2 series that kept on changing names and they kept on running each other. Like Justice League became at issue 7 Justice League International or Justice League Europe or something, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so hard to keep up with how many comics I have. Guys at the app, please change your app so it'll only have, if I put international, it'll only give me those numbers in the international range, because when I'm looking at the top and I'm looking for the numbers, and I did probably scroll down and look to see if I had this one. Great art, great comic book series. I just hate the numbering system, that's all. It's just very confusing. Quasar, this is one of the very last issues of Quasar, but I'm like, I haven't read any of them yet, but I keep hearing so much good things about them. I'm like, better get them now. All right, so Collision with Kismet. Isn't he an Egyptian goddess or god? I don't know. All right, and then Gru, he's the Wanderer. He's the Wanderer. This is from 1988. This is back when I was a kid, so yeah. I used to love reading Groot. I didn't have even this high a number when I was a kid. It was always like probably the first dozen issues I had. Yeah, it was back when I used to collect everything. And then I got a car and then everything started going toward gas. So yeah, I don't think I ever, I think that's what the defining moment was. I think I used to buy everything I could with comic books, and then I got a car, and then all that money for comic books went to gas. because it's like freedom. I mean, this was my way of getting out of my mind in a different universe. So I think that may have been the defining moment of when I stopped really reading comic books as religiously, I guess you can say, was when I started driving religiously. I still collected them. I still liked them, but I just didn't have the money for them like I did back before then. I was just a rich little kid, I guess, with my $5 allowance. Plus, comic books were like 50 cents back then. They grew to $1 by 1988. You get half as much then. All right. So let me looking back over these. So Groot I got because it was a hilarious comic. Quasar because I'm curious about Quasar. I hear good things about it. Plus, I never really read any of them, but it looks interesting. Justice League America because I'm like that close to having every issue of both of those runs, whatever you want to call them. Spider-Woman was because I'm curious. I mean, normally I'm like, if I see something that's like, man, this is pretty easy to get a hold of. I don't think I've ever seen a Spider-Woman issue. That's why I was confused when I saw it. I thought it was Spider-Girl at first. This one is probably one of the more easy to find issues, but I mean, it was there, $2, might as well. And then Justice League Quarterly, because $2 is a lot cheaper than $3.50. Yeah, that's another thing. You ever look at it and go, I'm spending less on the comic book now than I would have spent when it was new. Plus inflation, $3.50 is like what in Bidenomics, $800. I don't know. It's a lot more nowadays. Like $3.50 could buy you a lot more back then. It could buy you an entire, not even a Happy Meal. Happy Meal was like $2 back then. Trust me, I know. Back in '92, yeah, definitely I was buying Happy Meals for $2, and they had a lot more food in them back then too. So I could have bought a Happy Meal and a milkshake on top of it for $3.50. So yeah, this one was less than $2 originally. So I don't know if it grew in value. I doubt it. There's also a comic book shop right across from the place where the super deals. Because I asked him, I was like, that comic book shop right across from the road, do you think he came here and bought all your good stuff when you first got these? He's like, probably. I was like, yeah, I bet so. So yeah, he probably had like Action Comics #1, all those really for $2 each, and that guy probably grabbed them all. So I've only been there once or twice, and it's like not my favorite shop. I'm not going to talk down on him because I don't know anything about him. But yeah, I just didn't like the shop that much. It was very, it was just too much for me. Plus everything was like well overpriced at the shop right across the road from this place. Not super deals. So which one do you think was a good deal out of all of these? Let me kind of get them down to where, out of all of these, which one do you think was the best deal I got for $2? All right, and then which one do you think was the worst deal for $2? Because I'm sitting here thinking the best deal is, in my personal opinion, is the Justice League Quarterly, #7. The worst deal, I think, for $2 would probably be this one since it's more modern, but I don't know. I'm not collecting for value. I'm just saying for my personal reading taste, I don't know. I might like this, I might not like it. Yeah, so many people say Quasar's good. So out of these 6 comics, which one do you think was definitely the best deal for $2? Comment below. And y'all have a great day. Thanks for watching.